Hi ተማሪዎች እንደምን አላችሁ? ዛሬ we will see equations involving absolute value የሚለውን እናያለን ማለት ነው። In case of before we are dealing about that one, let's define what meant by absolute value. Absolute value of x is equals x if x is greater than or equal 0, negative x if x is less than 0. That means it is absolute value used to find what? Distance between two points. We call this is absolute value. It is always what? It is non-negative. That's so. Let's try to see some properties. In case if for a is greater than 0, if it is non-negative, that means particularly if it is positive, absolute value of x is equals a means what? A can be what? Plus or minus of what? A. You can take example here is absolute value of x is equals 3 means what? Which implies x is equal to what? That is plus or minus, that is 3. Similarly, absolute if a is greater than 0, absolute value of x is less than or equal a. You can consider here is what? Absolute value of x is less than or equal to, which implies what? Which implies negative 2 is less than or equal x less than or equal, that is 2. Similarly, if the absolute value of x is greater than or equal a, in that case, the value becomes what? Greater or equal a or less than or equal negative of that a. That means you can consider example here x greater or equal 4. This implies what? This implies x is less than or equal negative 4 or x is what? Greater or equal what? That is 4. Similarly, if absolute that is a is less than 0, absolute value of x less than or equal a means what? That means no solution for this one. Since absolute value is what? Always non-negative. But if it says that it is less than negative number, means what? It is no solution. In case if absolute value of x is greater or equal a, has infinitely many solutions. Since absolute value of negative, that means non-negative number. So non-negative number is always what? Greater or equal any negative number. You can consider here is absolute value of x is greater or equal, for instance, negative 5. You can take any number. This implies that x is what? Element of what? Negative infinity to positive infinity. Infinitely. That means many solution, or the set that consists all absolute value of x greater than or equal a. If a is negative number, in that case, the value of x is what? The set of real number. Now, using the properties, let's try to solve such problems. Absolute value of x minus 5 is equals 3. Yes, what the solution for this one? This means since this 3 is positive number, it is positive number, you can take what? X minus 5 is equals what? Plus or minus what? That is 3. What does imply? This implies that x is equals what? 5 plus or minus, that is 3. This means the value of x is what? X is equals 8 or x is equal to what? That is 5 minus 3, that is 2. So the value of x can be what? 8 or 2. If we ask the solution set for this one, solution set for this problem is equals what? The set consists 2 and 8. Similarly, in case of this one, x minus 5 is equals 3x plus 17 under absolute value. The same as we did a. This means what? This means x minus 5 is equals what? That is plus or minus. This is 3x plus that is 70. What does imply? This implies that x minus 5 is equals what? That is 3x plus that is 17 or what? Or x minus 5 is equals what? Negative of that. Negative 3x minus what? That is minus 70. Here. Now we can solve these problems. This implies what? This means collect like terms, which is equivalent to what? This means x minus that is 3x is equal to what? 17 plus what? 17 plus 5. Or this means x plus this is 3x is equivalent to what? This is negative 17 plus what? That is 5. Collect variables to variables and constant to constant. This implies what? X minus 3x is what? That is minus 2x is equal to 17 plus 5 is what? That is 22. Or here is what? X plus 3x is what? That is 4x is equal to negative 17 plus 5 is what? That is negative 12. Then solve x. This implies divide both sides by negative 2 for this one. X is equals what? Negative 22 over what? That is 2. Or here is what? X is equal to negative 12 over what? That is 4. What the value of x here? X is equal to what? This is negative 11, or what? X is equal to, this is what? Negative 3. So the solution for the value of x is what? Negative 11 and negative 3. If that's so, you can put the solution set as a forms, which is equal to what? Is equal to negative 11, comma what? Negative 3. If asked solution set. If asked the value of x, so you have to put it like this, as it is. If it is solution set, you have to put it inside solution set. Similarly, let's try to solve the next one. That means 2x minus 5 is greater than, what is that? That is 3. If that's so, this means since 3 is positive, as we said before, this implies what? 2x minus 5 is greater than 3, or what? Or 2x minus 5 is what? Less than negative of this constant, that is minus 3. What does apply? This means what? 2x is greater than, take negative 5 to the right side, it becomes 8. Or in case of this one, 2x is less than what? Negative 3 plus, same 5, that is 2. And come to here, divide both sides by 2 for this one, this, which is equal to what? X is what? Greater than 2, or what? In case of this one, 2x is less than what? That is 2. But the value of x divided by 2, divide by 2. The value of x is what? X is less than 1. So we can put it that this value as a forms what? X is less than 1, or what? Or x is greater than 2. We can put it like this. Or if you want, you have to put using intervals. In case of interval, this implies what? This means negative infinity to what? 1, excluding 1, union what? This is 2 to positive infinity. We can put it like this. The solution is this one, or this one. Both are the same. In case of 3x plus 27 less than or equal 6, as we did before, since 6 is positive, this implies what? This implies negative 6 is less than or equals what? 3x plus, here is 27. 27. What does imply? This is also less than or equal 6. We take what? 27 in both sides. We have to subtract, since it is plus, subtract in both cases. Negative 6 minus 27 is less than or equal 3x plus, this is also 27 if you want. This is minus 27. You have to subtract 27 in all cases. 6 minus 27. Negative 6 minus 27 is what? This is negative 33. This is less than or equal 3x, which is less than or equals what? 6 minus 27 is what? 6 minus 27, that is negative 21. After that, to find the value of x, divide both sides by what? All sides by 3. By 3. What does apply? Negative 11 is less than or equals x. This is less than or equals what? Negative 7. The value is this one. The value of x is this one. Or if you want, you have to put it this using set intervals. This is equals what? Including negative 11 to negative 7. The interval consists between negative 11 and negative 7, including 7. Since here we have what? Less than or equals sign in all cases. We can solve using this property for the case of what? Absolute value, whether it is equations involving absolute value or inequalities involving absolute value. So let's try to solve this problem. It is taken from matrix exam. If x is less than 0, then the simplest form of 3x minus x, absolute value of x over x is equals to what? X is what? It is less than 0. So this means what? This means 3x minus absolute value of x over x becomes what? Which is equal to, take 3x minus what? Absolute value of this x is what? Since x is less than 0, we take what? Negative of what? That x, as we defined before, over x, which is equal to what? 3x minus x is what? That is 4x. Divided by, here is what? X. X, we cancel x by x, what remains? Here is 4. So the value for this one is what? F of x is equals, this is equals to 4. We can solve like this. We can take different problems to solve system of, that means absolute value, involving absolute value, whether it is equal sign or what? Inequality sign. Let us consider another example. What is the solution? So set for this one. Solution set this, which is equals, say here is 1 over 2. What? This implies what? This implies x minus 3 is equal to what? Plus or minus what? 1 over 2. Which is equal to what? X is equals 3 plus or minus what? 1 over 2. What the value of this? This is equal to 3 plus 1 over 2 is what? That is 7 over 2. And 3 minus 1 over 2 is what? That is 5 over 2. 5 over 2, or what? X is what? 7 over 2. Here. What about this? If we consider this one, absolute value of x minus 5 or plus 5, you can take this is plus 5 is equals negative 5. Is there any value which gives negative 5? In that case, what? This cannot be negative number. If that's so, this implies that the solution set for this one is what? Empty set. We can't find any value for x that satisfies that its absolute value is what? Negative 5. Similarly, what about this? Absolute value of x is greater or equals negative 3. If we consider this one, what the solution said this one? It since absolute value is what? It is non-negative. It is 0 or positive number. That means what? It is always what? Greater or equals what? Greater than negative number. This implies the solution set for this is what? All real number. Or if you want, you have to put it this in negative infinity to what? Positive infinity. So whatever the problem that you come across, you can solve using the property of what? Absolute value. And absolute value is to find what? Distance or magnitude of what? The value. For instance, if we take the difference between what? The difference between, if you want to buy something and sell it, then the value that we take what? The difference of them that we take absolute value. Sometimes it is negative means what? It is losing. If it is positive, that is profit. So whatever the case, to find the magnitude of what we lose or what we profit, we use absolute value. So absolute value has a different application. This is all about absolute value involving whether it is equation or inequality.
The next lesson will be solving inequalities.